to the channel Home of Programming. In today's session, we are going to create a new series of .NET, right? In this series, we will learn about ASP.NET and C#.NET, right? Before that, let me tell you what exactly .NET is, right? Yes, let's get started. So, .NET is nothing but an open source developer platform developed by Microsoft for building different types of application, right? Here you might have asked that what is meant by a developer platform, right? Developer platform is one which contains several languages along with some libraries, right? So this .NET framework supports 72 languages and contains n number of libraries. So libraries are nothing but some of the built-in packages and functions, right? So this is a brief intro of .NET. And so what are all the platforms in which .NET framework can work, right? So there are main three platforms. One is .NET Core, another one is .NET Framework, and the last one is Xamarin, right? This .NET Core is used to develop applications that can run on different type of operating system. For example, let it be Windows, Linux or Solaris, like that, right? So whereas the application developed using .NET Framework will run on web, right? So this .NET Framework platform will allow you to create such applications that can run on web, right? So Xamarin is for developing mobile apps, right? So this is all about .NET. In this series, we are going to learn C#.NET and ASP.NET, right? So at first, we will learn about C#.NET. When we complete C#, we can switch over to ASP.NET, right? So let's get a brief intro of C#, right? So but before that, .NET is having some of the special features such as interoperability, right? So interoperability means when you are working with Microsoft Office Word, you might have seen such a case, which is some of your friends might work in MS Office version of 2007, but you are working with the version 2010, right? Now what happens is, when your friend sends their document to you, you are able to work with the document that has been sent by your friend, right? That is 2010 version of Microsoft Office allows working with the Word document that has been created with the version 2007. But when you save this document in 2010 format and again send it back to your friend will not be able to access the file you have sent, right? Because 2007 will not have the capability to run the Office document which is developed in the higher version, right? So the higher version should support the features of lower version. This is called interoperability, right? So Microsoft 2010 supports creating document that has been already created with some of the lower versions of that, right? So next one is Common Language Runtime, which is nothing but the program written for your .NET will get executed in such an environment which is known as CLR, which is Common Language Runtime, right? So it is nothing but a virtual component which is responsible for converting your compiled code into machine code, right? So when it is getting converted to machine code, it will be executed by your CPU, right? This is a process in every programming languages, right? So after that, it is having some of additional services like exception handling, memory management, type safety, garbage collection and thread management, and even more. So we will learn more about these individual services in our upcoming sessions, right? As I told you before, .NET is having n number of library functions, right? So it is very easy to deploy an application which is developed with .NET, right? So finally, it adds more security to your apps, right? So let's get started with C Sharp, right? So C Sharp is purely object oriented programming, right? So why I am saying it as purely object oriented is C++ is also an object oriented language, but it is partially object oriented. The reason is you can write your C++ program with or without a class, right? But in case of a C Sharp, you should have a class. That is, a starting point to any function is main, right? That is, your main function is a execution point of your program, right? That main function will be inside a class. So without classes and objects, we can't create any simple C Sharp programs. This is the reason why we call C Sharp as a purely object oriented programming, right? So C Sharp is introduced by Microsoft, right? So the very first version of C Sharp is introduced in the year 2002 and the latest version in 2019, right? So in this particular session, in today's session, we will learn about keywords, after that structure of C Sharp program, after that what are classes and objects, the main method of your C Sharp program, variables, and how to print a statement in C Sharp, right? So let's get started with keywords, right? So keywords are nothing but a reserved words, right? So why I am saying it as reserved in the sense you can't use such keywords for any other purposes. So say for example, in a restaurant, if some people have reserved a particular table already, a new customer who enters a hotel or a restaurant cannot occupy that particular table, right? In a similar manner, keywords are reserved words that can perform a specified action, right? For example, if you are using this keyword int, it is used to create a variable of integer data type, right? Similarly, each keyword is having its specific purpose. You can't use this keyword for any other purposes, right? This is why keywords are called as reserved words, right? Some of the keywords used in C Sharp are int, float, double, which are nothing but your data types, class, which is used to create a class, if, switch, else, while, do. These keywords are used to create a decision making and looping statements, and new, private, protected, public, internal. These keywords are used to provide security to your C Sharp program. And after that there are structure, enum, this keyword, abstract. So we can discuss about these keywords, these individual keywords in our upcoming sessions, right? That is, when we learn about data type, I will explain the purpose of using int, float, double data types, and when we learn about decision, I will tell you more about these keywords such as switch, while, do, while, if, right? So similarly, when we get into inheritance or some other classes, we will learn about the access specifier keywords, which is private, protected, public, and internal, right? When we work with properties, I will explain you about get and set parameters, right? So this is a list of keywords is used in C Sharp, right? So let's move on to the structure of C Sharp program, right? So here, public, class, class name, right? Here public is a keyword followed by keyword class after the name of your class, right? So inside it, main method is there with a string argument. So after that, body of your main method, right? So I have given you an example of this structure. Here we have created a class, public class hello, right? So I will tell you how to create a class, right? So this is a class named hello. Inside this class we are having a main method, right, which is public static void main, right? So here this particular main method is having this prototype. We can't change the prototype of main method, right? You should use it in a similar manner. So when we create a main method, it should be capitalized for the letter M, right? So let me explain you the prototype. So public is nothing but a access specifier, right? So why here the main method of C# program is public means, so the main method should be accessible from anywhere, right? As it is an execution point of your program, it should be accessible from anywhere. So we have used the keyword public, right? After that static, right? So why we have used the keyword static is the main function should not be called with the help of object. So without the help of object, the main function should be called, right? So for this particular reason, we have used static keyword here. After that void, your main function is not going to return anything. So we can have this as void, or if you want to return some values, you can use any other data types. After that, name of your method, which is accepting a string type argument, right? So inside it, we are having some print statement. So we will learn how to print a statement in C# later. Now we can move to creating a class, right? So to create a class keyword should be used, right? So here you should create a class with the keyword class followed by your class name. So the name of the class should be provided by following the naming conventions, right? So here no keyword should be used for creating a class name, and every class name should start with an alphabet and followed by alphabets or number. So the only special character which is allowed in creating your class name is underscore. Except underscore, no other characters should be used, right? So and you can either use Pascal or Camel naming conventions, right? So what is Pascal convention is, so the starting letter of your class name will be capitalized, remaining will be in smaller case in case of a Pascal convention. If it is Camel convention, the starting letter will be capitalized and the starting letter of subsequent words will also be capitalized, right? So here I hope you are clear with how to create a class in C#, right? So I am just telling you theoretically. So we will have some example at the end of this session, right? So then we learn about objects, right? So object is nothing but an real-time entity, right? So what is real-time entity is, anything can be an object. A door, a chair, a book, laptop, mobile, anything can be an object, right? So what is the need of an object is, to call your function we are having, right? So the syntax for creating an object is class name followed by object name equal to new class name of, right? So here to create an object, you can write it as class name followed by object name semicolon. It is enough to create an object, but in order to create an memory space for your object, we have to use the keyword new class name of, right? So the purpose of new keyword is to allocate a memory space, right? So that is the reason we have used new keyword while creating an object, right? So an example for this is my class MC is equal to new my class of. Here MC is the object and my class is the name of your class for which we are creating an object. Here note that we have used camel format here for creating a class name, that is the first letter is capitalized and the first letter of subsequent term, right? So literally my is singleton and class is another term, right? So here the first letter of first term is capitalized as well as the first letter of subsequent term is also capitalized. So this is a way followed by camel convention. If it is Pascal, only the starting letter must be capitalized, right? So in C sharp, you can either use Pascal or camel format. That is up to you, right? So this is all about objects, right? So and main method. We have already discussed about the main method. So in order to be called without the help of object, here the main method is declared as static, and to be called from anywhere, it is given the access specifier public. So the default main method takes string type argument, right? So this is all about your main method. Let's move on to variables, right? So variables are nothing but a memory location for storing some values, right? So for example, consider a scenario of creating some recipes, right? So to create a recipe, you must know the ingredients for that particular recipe, right? So those ingredients can be considered as variables, right? So I hope you are clear with variables, right? To create a variable, the syntax is data type followed by your variable name. So this will create a variable. To assign a value for your variable, you should use an operator equal. After that, you should provide your value. An example for that is int a equal to 5, where int is a data type, a is a user defined variable name equal to 5. Here the value of a variable is assigned to 5, right? So this is all about variables. We can have an example at the end of the session. So to print a line, the following statement can be used, right? So here the function which is used to print a line in C# is writeLine. So note that the function name writeLine. So W is capitalized, L is also capitalized, right? So they are using camel format. So we can choose either camel format or Pascal format only for user defined functions, class names, right? So we can't change the convention of default keywords, class name, function name, right? So the default convention followed by C# for classes and functions is camel format, right? So here system is a class in which console is subclass, right? So system is a class, inside it they have another one class console. System is a class, for that class they have called the created an object console, right? So in the previous example we saw that MC is an object for the class my class, right? So my class is our class, for that we have created an object MC. Similarly, system is a class for which they have created an object console. So using that object, they have called the function writeLine to print a statement, right? So here welcome is a string enclosed in double quotes. So whatever the content given in double quotes will be displayed as it is, right? So it is not necessary to mention system here. You can write it as console.writeLine itself, right? It is possible to print a line with the following statement as console.writeLine of welcome will print welcome message in your output screen. So this is all about printing a statement in C#. So we can have a demonstration of how to create a class, how to create a variable, and how to print a statement in C#, right? So here this is a window of Microsoft Visual Studio. To create a C# program, you should download and install Visual Studio, Microsoft Visual Studio. I am using the version 2019. So I am giving the link for downloading Microsoft Visual Studio in the description box. You can use that link to download Microsoft Visual Studio, right? So Visual Studio is for developing programs in multiple languages. So if you want to just run C# program, there is simple editor available for C#. That is also Microsoft C# editor IDE. So I am giving link for both of them. That is, I am giving link for Microsoft Visual Studio as well as for C#, right? So you can download in either of them, right? So this is a window of Microsoft Visual Studio. In that I have created a new project for C#, right? So that is, to create a new C# file, you should go to File, click on New Project. After that a window will appear, that is Create New Project window will appear. In that we will have to select C# option for creating console based applications, right? So what is console based application is, console based applications are such application that runs on individual desktop system, right? For example, Microsoft Office is a desktop software which needs separate installation on each device, right? So if you are having Microsoft Office in your system and you have created a document, only you can view that document only in your device, right? So if you want to view that Office document in some other system, you need to have Microsoft Office Word installed in that particular system, right? So this is a drawback of desktop system. So wherever you want to view as a software or application developed through console based applications, they will have separate installation on each device, right? So simply desktop application needs separate installation on each device. That is all about desktop applications, right? So here with C# we can create such kind of desktop applications, right? Here we have to select this option. So as I told in the introductory session, so we are going to build a desktop application with .NET Core platform which will run on individual systems, right? You can select this option and click on next. So you can provide your name for your project as well as location. So I am keeping this as my destination location. If you want to change this, you can click on this browse button to change your location. So I have already created a project, so I am closing this window for now, right? So when you click on create, this will be the skeleton code generated for your C# program, which is having one namespace by default. After that namespace, your namespace name. Here in the structure of C# program, I didn't mention about namespace, right? It is not mandatory to provide namespace, right? So namespace is nothing but collection of your classes, right? So in C program we will have header files, right? So for example, in a C program, in order to use printf and scanf function, we have to include the file stdio.h, right? Similarly, in order to use the built-in functions or classes, we have to specify the namespace in which such classes are defined. So namespace is literally a collection of classes, right? It is not mandatory to include a namespace, but if you are using some of the functions inside a particular class, you should use that namespace, right? So here class is a keyword, program is a name of a class. This is a default class created by C# for us, right? So after that there is a main method. Inside it we have returned the statement console.writeLine of hello world, right? So inside it, if you want to create a variable, we can create, right? So I am going to create a variable inside our class, right? So one thing to mention about Microsoft Visual Studio is it is a one perfect editor you can use to develop a number of applications. So the one thing I regret about Microsoft Visual Studio is so it will load very slowly when you run for the first time, and if you have not opened Microsoft Visual Studio for a couple of days, and after a couple of days when you open it, it will load very slowly, right? So that is the one thing which I regret about Microsoft Visual Studio. Other than this, everything will be fine to work with, right? So if you want to excel in creating C# or ASP.NET based application, you should cope up with this drawback of Microsoft Visual Studio, right? So here I am going to create a variable. So syntax for creating a variable is data type followed by variable name, right? So I am going to use the data type int, and I am going to create a variable as a, right? So I am going to assign value 5 for the variable a, right? So here I have created a variable with integer data type and assigned a value of 5 to it, right? So now what I am going to do is I am going to print this value of a, right? So let the hello world be there. Below that we can print our value of variable, right? So again console dot. So in Visual Studio, when we use dot operator, it will suggest you all the available functions inside a particular class, right? The value of e is so to concatenate string and a variable, you should use the operator plus, right? So here I have used the value of a is inside the double quotes, right? So after that I have provided the value of a is a, right? That is, I have concatenated string and a variable, right? So this is a way with which you have to print a statement or variable. So you might have noticed that when I included this statement console.writeLine of value of a is plus e, some error has been shown here, right? The reason is our main function is static by default, right? So here inside a static function we should use only static variables, right? So that's why I have changed the modifier of a to be static, that is a is a static variable, right? So the use of static variable is it is automatically initialized to 0. Here we have assigned a value of 5 to the variable e. If we have not initialized any value to a static variable, it will automatically stored to 0, right? So this is all about creating classes, creating variables and printing a statement or variable in C#. So let's run this program. So if you are having an editor, that is if you are working with Microsoft Visual Studio, you can simply run your program by clicking on this play button, right? So now our output window has been displayed. Inside it, the first statement is hello world. After that, the value of a is 5, right? So these are the two lines which we have printed inside our main function. So this is all about creating classes, variables and printing a statement in C Sharp. So with this we can conclude this session, and in our next session of learning C Sharp we will explore the window, C Sharp window of Microsoft Visual Studio. So I will explain about each individual window, that is Solution Explorer, debugging window and more than that, right? So I will try to explain all these things in the next session of our .NET series. The next session will be in next Saturday, right? So in the next video, that is tomorrow is Sunday, right? Tomorrow we will be creating a new series for personal computing and networking essentials. In that what we will learn is, we will start from the basics, such as starting from the input and output devices, and we will learn about networking essentials such as how to create an IP address for a particular port and how to retrieve a IP address using ping command, and like that we will learn in personal computing and networking sessions, right? So stay tuned with Home of Programming for getting more and more programming videos, and subscribe to our channel. If you wish to get notified on our every video, don't forget to press the bell icon. Thank you.